What really goes on behind these gates? Politicians and civil servants go to a great deal of trouble to keep the business of government secret. It's a lot easier to make decisions when you don't have the public looking over your shoulder. So while we often know what governments decide, we generally don't know why they've made the decision or what rows they've had along the way. But apart from keeping secrets, the people who work here in the corridors of power are also very good at keeping records of conversations, phone calls, discussions and decisions. And those records are safely kept under lock and key. Until now, when they're released and transferred here to the National Archives, where we can all take a look at them 30 years later. The year is 1977. Unemployment is at an all-time high with over 100,000 people out of work, although the economy is beginning to recover after the oil crisis of the early 70s. Fianna Fáil promised solutions in their notorious manifesto and sweep to victory in the June election. Jack Lynch becomes Taoiseach again, while Jimmy Carter becomes the 39th President of the US. Red Rum wins the Grand National for a record third time.
Well, if your baby leaves you,
and it's the end of an era as Elvis dies. And the beginning for the Boomtown Rats as their first single goes straight into the British top 10. And seeing something in the hot press had a brand new meaning as this new magazine targeted the rapidly growing youth market. 1977 opened with a simmering crisis in Anglo-Irish relations. Here in Downing Street, Prime Minister Jim Callaghan was worried about disagreements with Dublin on a whole range of issues: rights to oil exploration, Irish allegations of mistreatment of prisoners in the north, and continuing IRA violence in Britain. According to British cabinet papers, Callaghan was so concerned about the situation that he sent a special envoy on a secret mission to Dublin to outline his fears directly to then Taoiseach Liam Cosgrave. The man chosen for the mission, Sir Richard Sykes, was a senior official in the Foreign Office. But according to the files, he was also a senior figure in the British intelligence community.
My purpose is to convey from the Prime Minister his view as to the serious deterioration in relations between the two countries which has occurred in recent time.
The main concern was the imminent trial of 8 SAS men arrested south of the border the previous year. They claimed they were lost, but after a string of abductions and murders in the Republic, the SAS were regarded with deep suspicion. Forensic tests on their guns showed no links with crimes, but now they were due to return to face trial for illegal weapons possession. Clearly the worry of these men going to jail was foremost in the mind of the British Prime Minister, as Sir Richard Sykes bluntly told Liam Cosgrave.
Mr. Callaghan would like to emphasise that if the SAS men find themselves in an Irish prison, he could not say how strongly this would react on relations. It would probably put off peace for a long time. He is particularly worried about provoking a backlash against the Irish community in Britain.
It's extremely unlikely that the men will be convicted on the major charge. And I believe that if the men pleaded guilty to the minor charge or were found guilty of it, they might be sentenced to pay a fine or to brief imprisonment, maybe for a day or so.
Not surprisingly, this didn't reassure Callaghan, who was under pressure from his Defence Secretary to allow the SAS men to skip bail and not return for the trial. The Prime Minister wrote to Cosgrave demanding remission of their sentences if they were jailed.
If I advise the men to answer the bail and to return to Dublin to stand trial, this will be on the firm assumption that under no circumstances will the men spend any time in prison in the Irish Republic. I would not wish you to be in any doubt about this.